Welcome to the Austrian Embassy. Please come in, follow me. This is a historic building built in 1913, acquired by the Republic of Austria in 1929 from a Count Rignon from Turin, who built that in 1913 for his seat in Rome because he was from Torino. A fun fact maybe for you is that the Austrian embassy before, in the latter part of the 19th century, was in the Palazzo Venezia, and the residence of the Austrian ambassador was in the Palazzo Chigi, which is now your prime minister's seat. So this is more befitting for a small republic as Austria has become after the First World War. You will see a lot of paintings on the walls, historic paintings which are either on loan from museums in Austria or belong to the foreign ministry, interspersed with some modern art which is also on loan from various institutions in Austria. And of course, in an Austrian residence, you cannot go without having portraits of the Habsburgs, which is a part of our great history which we had for centuries. I would kindly ask you to follow me further on. An Austrian residence, an Austrian embassy, would be incomplete without a piano. Because as Italy, Austria is a very musical country and a very musical people. So we have here Bösendorfer, which is the Steinway of Austria, if you so like. Here interspersed all over you have historical personalities or historical scenes of landscapes of Austria. And of course the classical furniture which you can find here in this residence. Now, after this short introduction, may I invite you to take a seat here at the salon of the representation area of the embassy. I think the COVID crisis is an extraordinary challenge for all of our countries. Italy was the first country hit early and hard, and we really have to express our respect for the way Italy was able to handle this crisis in spring, and we could all learn from this, so we all followed the examples of partial lockdowns and lockdowns to control the virus in this spring. Extraordinary measures are necessary for extraordinary situations. So also the Austrian government has invested heavily into, first of all, the health system, secondly, to safeguard employment and to keep companies afloat in this very difficult times. And this was done through a bundle of measures which will continue way into 2021 to safeguard the whole economy and the employment in particular. Italy is for Austria the second most important trading partner after Germany. I think this is a fact which has to be stressed very much. And it is a very equal economic partnership with exports and imports in both directions almost on the same level. Equally, the investments, there are over 1,000 of each way of companies working in the other country. So there is a lot of exchange going on. Yes, there was interruption due to the corona crisis, but it is on a very solid foundation. So when we, hopefully next year, our economies will pick up again, I'm sure that we can make up for the loss in the past. I'm a Viennese, so of course Vienna would come to mind. It is a former imperial city. It has been voted in many rankings as the most livable city in the world. So I think that's a destination which comes to mind. But then don't forget, Austria is a very varied country with many historical sites and cities. Just think of Salzburg, Graz, to take the two biggest after Vienna. And then Austria is a country of mountains. 2/3 of our country is taken up by mountains. So hiking in the mountains or then in winter skiing is a wonderful pastime to explore our country. I mean, first of all, I think I'm privileged to be living in Rome and working in Rome. What better treat can you think for a diplomat to be in? And then again, for an Austrian, we Austrians, Italy is the #1 tourist destination for our main vacations. And naturally, because of the proximity, we normally go to the north of Italy. I have to confess that I don't know Italy south of Rome yet, so that's my project for my stay here the next 4 years. So we know all the big cities, cultural centers, and the Adriatic coast in the north more. The most memorable maybe for me was a trip to Trieste, where I could take up the tram up to Općina, a Slovene village, and I went to a restaurant and was able to experience the mix of cultures, also of culinary cultures, and how wonderful it is, this cross-fecundation of different cultures and influences, not the least in a cuisine. As a Viennese, and also because it has a nice component to our bilateral relationship, I should, of course, mention the Wiener Schnitzel, where there is the question, where was it invented, in Vienna or in Milano? And in the end of the day, I think it is a friendly competition, and no matter where it started, its genesis, the most important is that we both, our people, like this dish. And of course, Austrian dishes are very famous for their desserts. The different kinds of Knödels or Salzburger Nockerln. There are plenty, like in the Italian cuisine, there are many regional varieties. So there's not one cuisine in Austria. In the mountainous areas, you would go for very heavy Knödel with meat. And let me pick out one curiosity, which is Kaspressknödelsuppe, which is a cheese-filled dumpling flattened and put into a broth. And this is very much strengthening you if you go skiing in Austria. I have picked for a drink, a Prosecco. You might ask, what is this? This is another example of the beauty of what we can learn from each other. So the Austrians took a glance of the wonderful Prosecco culture in Italy, and this is from a friend of mine, a wine producer in Lower Austria, in the Danube Valley near Vienna, and he developed the Prosecco, the Rosé Prosecco, which is a very nice drink, not heavy at all, easygoing, and the right time for an aperitivo. Cheers, chin chin, salute.